Hello, everyone. We are at MTAC Score. It actually happened after years of waiting, and I have a very special episode for you guys today. I get to talk to both Bryce Papenbrook and Cherami Leigh. Guys, thank you so much for making the time.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You're right. It's been years in the making. We finally made it.
Yes, we are here. Yeah. It's real. I wanted to... And I hope that you and the audience will forgive me, but I want to start this out with a story. I usually ask the same question at, near the start of all of my interviews, but I'm going to tell a story about Cherami.
Awesome.
Now this was years ago, so I don't expect you to remember any of this. This was many, many years ago at MomoCon before they were the huge event that they are now. But I had an opportunity to speak with you, and I asked you this question. I asked you, what made you take an interest in acting? And the answer that you gave me was so wholesome and so relatable that it has stuck with me through the years. Do you know what you told me?
That I wanted to be on Barney.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's the most relatable answer I've ever heard.
I do remember this. This was my first time at MomoCon. I remember it vividly.
It's so funny. I'm flattered that you remember it. But yeah, that has stuck with me as like the all-time number one answer to that question, because it's like, of course. Why wouldn't you? For the younger folks in the audience, Barney and Friends was a wildly popular children's show in the 90s about a big purple dinosaur who had a goofy voice. And, anyway, it was just like, of course. Who has not... in their lifetime, like growing up watching a show like that, it's like, I would love to. I want to be on Barney. I want to be with Barney. And
that's all I knew was possible. My mom was a dance teacher, and she had a student that was on Barney, and so in my little mind, I wanted to be an actor, and that's what being an actor looked like. That was achievable. So that was what I understood to be. If you want to be an actor, then you get to be on Barney. And what a great job that would be.
Just what a magnificent way to get started. And of course, Bryce, you have your own interesting path towards acting as well, because your father was a talented and accomplished actor in his own right.
Legend.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And you have more than successfully followed up on his legacy. And
it's amazing to carry on the torch for him.
And you've done such a terrific job of it. I know he would be proud.
Thank you.
Not just as an actor, but Bryce is a wonderful, wonderful person.
Absolutely.
And I never met his father, but everyone speaks so highly of him. And I know that he would be exceedingly proud of the person that Bryce is and the actor that he is. But it really is wonderful to get to see him shine.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm curious, and Cherami, this pertains to you as well, but I know, Bryce, you've got the kids at home, you've got your career, and you've got con appearances.
Yeah.
Your time is very much in demand. So how do you achieve a good work-life balance for yourself?
Yeah, it is challenging, and sometimes I just combine them. So this year at MTAC, my family is here with me, enjoying the convention and enjoying Nashville, and we had got to celebrate Easter this morning, which was so much fun. So it's a balance, yes, and I've gotten very good at scheduling, at finding time and blocking off time in my calendar, but also just combining things together and kind of enjoying these experiences as a family.
And just what a wonderful opportunity to have to where you can share this with your family. I think that's just wonderful.
Absolutely incredible, and I just love being able to come to these events and celebrate these awesome shows that I'm lucky enough to be a part of, and hang out with people like Cherami and just have a great time with everyone here. So yeah, it's awesome that this is a thing, and it's something also that we're seeing grow in popularity. I love that the events are becoming larger and more successful, and as anime becomes kind of mainstream. You know, when I started doing these events, and definitely when I started as a voice actor, anime wasn't as accessible. People didn't know these shows or recognize these things, and now, you know, with the release of Demon Slayer in theaters and the box office there, it's very apparent that anime is mainstream. And it's exciting to be a part of that. Really, really exciting.
Absolutely. Cherami, what has your experience been? Because, you know, from where you started, where you are now, it's been such an interesting journey seeing you, you know, like started off, you know, doing a lot of stuff at Funimation. Now you're everywhere. What has that experience been like?
I mean, it's very surreal. I'm very grateful. I don't take any job for granted because I know nothing is promised. There's so many talented actors that any opportunity that someone gives me the chance to come in and work on a project, I'm incredibly grateful. But yeah, I mean, it's been a really fun ride. When I started working at Funimation, I did not understand. I didn't know that conventions were a thing. And the first show I worked on, we got to go to a convention to promote it, and I was amazed at cosplay. I did not know anything about cosplay. I didn't know about Artist Alley, and I was just kind of like flooded with all of this talent and all of these incredible people and this community that exists at a convention where everybody is just happy to see a bunch of people that wants to share in the things that they love. And it's such I feel like an inclusive place. It's a very loving place. It's a very accepting place. And I love that there's more and more conventions every day. And I get to see that grow, and more people get to feel safe and loved and secure. And it kind of brings people out of their shell. I was bullied when I was young and felt very introverted and still feel very introverted. So to get to see people kind of blossom and come back year after year and say, I'm getting more confident, I'm cosplaying this year. It's so exciting to get to see that. And then to get to see people get more excited about the projects that I get to work on and connect with the characters. It's really such a gift.
And just to kind of piggyback off of something you said just now, I really do think it shows a lot of courage and a lot of personal growth for you to be someone who is very introverted, as well as someone who is bullied, and to just be able to be the person you are right now. Like, just talking to me, like, yeah, you just seem very comfortable, very natural, and I think that just requires a lot of work and a lot of courage. And I think, you know, that should be acknowledged.
Well, thank you. It's when I was a kid, that was kind of what acting was. I could find my confidence by using literally someone else's words, someone else's lines, someone else's costume, and I stepped into the character, and then I would get to say and do things and get to be brave because it was required of the character. And then at the end of the day, I would say, but that wasn't the character, that was me, and it kind of helped me grow. So when I say these characters are like guardian angels for me and they've helped me get through hurdles, that is absolutely the truth. And I still, I lean on the characters and I need the characters for support sometimes, but then at the end of the day I go, but you did that, and it helps give a little bit more confidence. And it's probably something I will always be working on, but it's a work in progress, and I'm a work in progress, just like life is a work in progress.
Yes. One thing that I always like to ask, because acting is such a competitive field, and you know, I've talked with about this with a few of the guests. You know, like having a 3% success rate means you're wildly successful in this industry, which is such a wild concept. But when you're faced with, you know, 97% rejection, how do you stay motivated?
When I audition, I look at it as buying lotto tickets. Literally, not going in thinking, you know, I'm definitely getting cast. Like, you're right. Like, even a lower percentage would still be considered very successful in this industry. But in that moment, I try to become the character. I'm as passionate as I can be right for that small time. And then I forget that I ever played the game, that I ever, entered to try to get the job. And when I'm cast in something, it's like I've won something, and it's so exciting, and I get that like adrenaline rush and excitement, and that's how I know I'm kind of doing the right thing. Like I'm in an industry where when things go well and when it works, like it all that hard work and all the rejection is worth that one yes. So I don't know. You just kind of you get comfortable with that. You have to be comfortable with that, or you can't kind of sustain.
Yeah, I think it's very challenging, and I think a lot of people will say, "Well, just put it all out there and don't care." Like I've heard a lot of people say, "When you don't care about the job, you'll book it more often." And I think that's really hard to do because obviously, in order to stay in this business, you have to love it. You have to be passionate about being an actor. You have to be passionate about what you work on. So I think not caring and saying like, you still want to care, and you still want to care in that moment. And like Bryce said, fully enjoy the experience and fully embody the character, and then kind of let it go and have a life outside of this industry. Because if it's all wrapped up in being an actor, and you don't have hobbies, or you don't have a family, or you don't have things that you like to do outside of acting, and everything is all wrapped up in this industry, it's going to drive you crazy. And even when you do have a life outside of things, there are times that you'll audition for a role and say, I cannot believe I get to audition for this. This would be an absolute dream. And it's so hard to forget about it. And then when you find out that you got it, or you find out you didn't get it, if you find out you didn't get it, sometimes you're sad. And it's okay to be sad. That was you putting your heart into this audition, and you gave them a little bit of your creative soul, and it wasn't the right fit in that moment, and that's totally okay. So finding ways to take care of yourself emotionally, mentally, and feed your soul so that you can keep creating with that same gusto and excitement. And I think, like you had mentioned with the work-life balance, finding a way to creatively nurture yourself and then be willing to put it all out there each time you have an audition, that is essential in order to keep wanting to keep creating at this super competitive level.
And kudos to both of you for finding a healthy mindset in which to do that, because that's not easy for any aspect of life, but especially something, like you said, when you're at a very high end of doing something.
At least for me, it is, I'm always trying to fine tune that balance. Like sometimes you'll find it for like, a couple of hours, and then you go, oh, this one slipped, I guess I got to change. And so it's constantly kind of keeping it all in the air. Bryce has probably found a little bit better balance that sustains longer, but mine is constantly shifting.
So what are some things that you both enjoy outside of acting?
Well, you mentioned my family, and I have a lot of fun with the kids and with my family. We love traveling, which fits perfectly into the convention world, to go explore and see different cities and try different food and see the world. So we've been able to travel all over the world because of conventions. It's Australia and New Zealand, the UK, and into Europe. And just recently, I actually went to the Middle East. I went to a country called Kuwait to an event out there. It was a very long flight, and I was only there for about 48 hours. But it was an incredible experience. So, being able to travel again after kind of a long break, I knew how much we loved to travel, and how much I missed it. And it's so nice being able to do that again.
Yeah, I love getting to spend time with my family. I have 2 cats at home. I love them very much. I love getting to be able to write and to create my own stuff. I love doing yoga. Anything that deals with mental health and learning more about that, I'm fascinated by any sort of documentary or any opportunity that I can learn, going to a museum, finding out about other people and learning about specifically people that had a very big impact on maybe a very small amount of the population, or maybe a large amount of the population that are little known. I love reading about their stories and trying to figure out ideas of creating content where I could bring their stories to the forefront so people could be more aware and celebrate them for the contributions that they have brought to this world. That stuff makes me really excited and really fascinated. So I try to keep myself busy with that when there's other projects that maybe are not taking up a lot of my time, or maybe aren't working the way I would like them to. I try to find other ways to keep that creative flame going, because I've always wanted to be in this industry, and that went from being my hobby as a kid to being my career. And so I've had to find other ways to, well, what else do I like to do? What are some other hobbies that I like? So this is not my fun time is now my job. So I got to find a fun thing to do, so I can keep that balance.
Right. Well, I'm going to wrap up here in just a moment, but while I was doing my research for these interviews, I read something that on Wikipedia, and of course we know that it's not always factual, but I read it and it made me smile, so I had to ask about it.
Okay.
I'm so nervous.
Bryce, true or false, you were a high-level GoldenEye player.
So, I like to think that, yes. And so does my best friend, who most likely added that to my Wikipedia. He's probably cracking up, because you're not the first person to discover that. But I think it's hilarious. We used to play GoldenEye all the time. I used to, claim that I was the best. And now my Wikipedia says that. So I'm pretty certain it was him.
That's magnificent, though. What a magnificent thing to have on your Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
If God forbid somebody made a Wikipedia page for me, I don't know what on earth they'd put on that thing. But that is just nobody has to correct it. It's fine. It's magnificent being on there.
I anxiously await the moment that somebody walks down the aisle at a panel and says, Bryce Papenbrook, I'm ready to challenge you.
Yeah, let's go.
I went to a store recently in San Antonio, and they said, hey, we've done a bunch of stuff to make this really fun for you. And in fact, we got N64s so you can play GoldenEye. Because we know that you were a competitive player in the past. I'm like, where did you find that? And they're like, it was on your wiki. Isn't that true? I'm like, that's the best thing I've ever heard, guys. I feel at home. I'm so happy that you did that.
That's so good.
I mean...
You better get to practicing.
I better start playing.
Yeah, somebody's coming for your title.
Yeah. I'll beat everyone out there still. I still think I'm the best.
That is magnificent. Well, guys, thank you so much. This has been a blast. I really do appreciate you both.
Thank you. So good to see you again.
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening to yet another production of the AwesomeCast, your podcast for everything awesome. You can find us online at awesomecast.com, OSMCAST.com, or, wherever you find your podcast, just search for AwesomeCast. You can also find us on the social medias, AwesomeCast at Twitter or on Facebook. Of course, you can also find our wonderful interview guru, the greatest living interviewer, John Robbins, at J5isLive. Or perhaps you'd like to follow our amazing editor, Anna, at Angel Darkfire. Or just me, at It's Basil Time on Twitter. Our theme song is produced by DJ Inabito, and you can find him online at djinabito.com. And once again, thanks for listening to the AwesomeCast. We appreciate you.